And good evening, everybody. Welcome on into the Dragon's Den. This is Digital Dragon. How's everybody doing? Hey, Cody, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Um, so yeah, tonight is going to be a semi-short stream and just a little chat and chill. We're not going to do any building tonight, partly because I'm trying to decide final colors or at least a couple of the colors we're going to use. Um, Bit low there for you. Let me move this up here and see if this helps some. Hopefully that makes it a little bit louder, a little bit closer to me. Um, but hope you're doing well. Uh, I'm feeling a little bit chilly. That's why I got my jacket on. But it's yeah, we're just gonna chat and chill a little bit tonight. Unfortunately, I've been one, a little bit under the weather, and then two, I've been gearing up for surgery next week. So yeah, got to rock the merch. Exactly. Exactly. Got to rock the merch. So I don't have normally I'm wearing a Digital Dragon 3D shirt, but I'm having to get on video more often with the day job. And it's just during the day, I'm working my day job, which is with a company, rather large company. I'll just leave it that way. And you know, I don't want them to get the impression that I'm moonlighting because I'm not. During the day, I am working from this location, but I sit in my office and I'm focusing on that job. When I'm done with that job for the day, that laptop closes down and I switch over and I start working basically the end of the day and let my wife go home early and then stream a couple of nights a week. I'm normally here late, and in the next couple of weeks, it's going to be even later because we've got some uptick in projects. So the last couple of days, we've had several repairs come in. So the printer repair side of things is picking up, and the design and print side of things is picking up quite a bit as well. During the day, filament sales, printer sales is pretty easy. If there is a question, they pop in and be like, hey, you got a second? Sure, I'll answer that question, and then right back to the other job. Hey, Eagle, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Um, and as needed, if needed, I get on later in the night as well for work, which there's some issues going on that I may have to get online and do some other stuff in the evening. It's always fun. But yeah, we're chilling out right now. The plan for the next so my surgery is next Wednesday. I am not sure if I'm going to be streaming until after surgery. After tonight, I may not be streaming until after surgery. Once again, we have a couple of time-sensitive prints and builds that have to go on for customers, and we're going to be focusing on that. We've got to do that because once again that brings money into the shop, and not that streaming does it, not that hanging out with you guys doesn't do that as well, but we're trying to build up the brand, and in this case, this is at least one of them is a customer base that would be very, very lucrative for us. So we need to make sure that we deliver on that one because it may get us some repeat business and business in a sector that would be very advantageous for us. So we're trying to get that done. It's going to require a couple of long days for the prints and overnight prints to get that done. We've got another client that's local small business that's getting ready to start up here in Sanford. It's a kids' play area, and we're doing several TPU prints for them, and we're doing some, let me grab one of these. We're doing some prints. These are TPU prints. This is for a somewhat smaller size skee ball, right? A little more kid-friendly size. So these are going to be parts of a skee ball, and we've got several other prints that they've asked us to start looking at. But this is really cool. This is a transition style spool of TPU from EPAX, and it's their Candy Rainbow. This gives you an idea of the transition. We've got several sizes of these, and some of the bigger ones I've got to print on one of my larger Vorons. So we're doing these in different sizes for them, and then there's a couple of other fun games for the kids that they're asking for us to do some prints on. And you know, it's one of those, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing, because we're coming out and saying, like, you know, with the amount of prints that you're going to do, it may be advantageous for you to get a 3D printer and start 3D printing. But at the same time, if they want to keep paying us to 3D print stuff for them, we're going to do that. We've got another customer that we've gone through a couple of iterations on the prototypes for them, and it's been really, really nice. A lot of times you'll get customers that will balk at, you know, when you tell them, hey, our design fee is this much per hour and this, that, and everything else. And all of a sudden they're like, whoa, you know, that's too much. Like, I wanted X, Y, and Z. That's way too much. This person is a maker at heart, and they do a lot of different things. And what we're doing is we're doing this, I think it's about 8.5 inch round thing celebrating the 250th year for America. And we're printing this, and she's going to go in and resin fill them. Okay, so she's putting a backing paper on it, and then they're resin filling in everything so it looks like a leaded stained glass piece. And they're going to take 2 on each side, so, and light in the middle. And we've helped them design that whole thing through an iterative design process. And it looks like we're going to be printing something like 50 to 75 of them for them. So the design work is one thing, then we're going to get into the printing, and that's going to also be another thing that's going to bring in some more work and money down the road. So that part of the business is doing well. Filament sales are going like gangbusters. Printer sales are going pretty good, to the point where I've got a couple of printers that I can't seem to keep in stock. So not a bad thing, you know, not a bad condition to be in. But yeah, that's kind of where we've been at. So what we were going to talk about today is, let me pull this up, is the Corvus ATX. This is a LDO Voron PC case type of design. I think what happened was there was a PC case design out there, and Mandic really added a bunch of additional files to it. And lo and behold, we have some LDO kits out there. So I do have the frame color that I have, and I haven't even really looked in here to see what all comes in the box. But the frame color for this, if I can get in here, is this gray color. Right here, let me go back to big screen here so we can show this. Hey, Diablo Spawn, how's it going? Let me come back over here. And so this is that nice gray color frame. I've got 2 sets of these frames. So I'm going to build one, and I'm not sure if I'm going to build the other one myself or if I'm going to have it here as a 2-by build option for people. Well, I guess I should leave this out. But so that's the gray. And so far, and I've been looking for a project to use this. I've had this filament for a while, and as you can see, the bag is all kind of puffed out. So I'm going to have to dry the heck out of this. But this is, I'm just going to open it. Got to be dried anyhow. This is atomic filament dark cherry red. Atomic filament dark cherry red on the gray frame, right? And to pair with this, my thought was apparently I had opened this, though I had never used it. So this is Polylite ABS in dark purple. So dark cherry red, dark purple, and gray frame. I think this is going to be the main color scheme for this printer. And I've got 3 spools of the dark purple and 2 spools of the dark cherry red. And the plan is most likely this is going to be the main base color. And we'll use the dark purple as some accents throughout. And I'm not sure, I know I've seen people doing like 3 and 4 colors. I've never been that colorful. Normally it's 1 and 2. But who knows? I could possibly be talked into getting a little crazy on color schemes here. We'll see. But I've got a couple of other projects kind of in the works. I am toying around with the idea of building a Folgertech FT6 size printer. I've got one here in the shop. It belongs to Sandhills 3D, aka Lomax. And the plan is, one, I've got most of the specs off of the manual for it. I mean, Folgertech's, I believe, completely gone now, that company. But what I'm looking at is building the frame and modifying its build structure. So instead of where it uses the the laser cut or CNC'd ACM panels for structure, I'm thinking I'm going to go with standard blind joints, and similar to these, where we'll use blind joints and get the frame built and then make a decision on some of the other stuff. Hey, Waters, how's it going? So Waters, what I've been talking about is I'm going to build one of the LDO, or actually, yeah, well, it's the LDO Voron-inspired PC case called the Corvus ATX. By, I know the files are out there by Manic Really, but I'm going to use this dark cherry red and dark purple with the gray frame. So those are going to be the main colors of the printer. And I'm also just here chatting and chilling some tonight. We've got kind of a lot of work going on here with the shop. We picked up a couple of time-sensitive print jobs. That's going to keep us pretty busy here in the next few days. In fact, one of the projects that we need to get done has to be done by April 8th, which is actually the day that I'm going in for surgery. So we really need to have it done by like Tuesday, preferably. Oh, cool. So I'm opening up the kit. Let me see. Do we have the bench camera? And will the bench camera actually work today? All right, bench camera seems to be working for the time being. So we do have the little I/O circuit board. This was something I was really going to be checking into because it's a couple of keycaps, but it's one for, it has power and reset. So power and reset keys, and then the power and hard drive activity light. This is kind of cool that they provide this. You know, several JST connections to do all the talking. But yeah, so we've got a few print projects going on. I showed this earlier. Let me grab these and I'll keep them over here so I can show them off again as people come and go. But we are currently printing some codes. This is for a local company that's getting ready to open up. This like kids and family oriented entertainment center, right? So they're going to have like skee ball. And we verified all the dimensions, but here we go. This is TPU. These are the cups for the skee ball game, right? This would be the most inner cup that would get you the highest point. But this is printed in EPAX 95A TPU, and this is their Candy Rainbow. They also have a Crystal Candy Rainbow TPU, which will be a more translucent color. But this gives you an idea of what that transition would be like on this Candy Rainbow. And once again, this is a TPU. We've got a high wall count on here, so it's not as squishy. But we did that because these are the rings that the balls are going to be tossed into. So I just wanted to show off that color because that's awesome. And to get that in a TPU is pretty cool. Hey, Pez Liz, look, I'm showing off colors. These are TPU prints for a skee ball game that this local company is putting together. So it looks like we're going to be doing several prints for them. We picked up a short notice print job that has to be done by Tuesday of this next week. Which should be doable. It's several long prints, though. Multiple build plates to get these things print, and they're going to be displays for a trade show, and that's why they have a tight deadline to get them done by the 8th so that they can ship them down there. They're flying over you on Tuesday. Cool. I'll be sure to look up and wave. We got some JST connectors, probably for our board. We've got some pretty strong N32 or N52 3x6 magnets. We've got some more ball drivers. Looks like 2, 2.5, and 3 in a short size. So that'll be cool. We can add these. Oh, and these are ball screwdrivers as well. So we'll add that to the collection of drivers. We got feet, which are always good. That way you don't have to print your own. En route to Memphis. I believe you were telling me that. We've got some VHB tape and some foam tape. This will be for the panels to keep panels from rattling and to seal the chamber or the case up. But yeah, so far standard quality set of packaging from LDO. We've also got plenty of screws and other gubbins so we can get all of our teeth broken by chewing on these. Everything from rolling T-nuts to hex or hammerheads to some heat set inserts. We're going to have plenty of stuff to work on there. And Liz, of course, you're coming in now, so I'm going to have to get this back out so I can show you because, once again, color swap queens here, so we've got to show our colors. Got over there. So we're going to be using atomic filament, dark cherry red, and Polymaker dark purple. These are going to be the two main colors, and a gray frame. So these are going to be the colors for our PC case. So that's going to be the initial color scheme. I may add some other colors here or there. Who knows? Don't get me wrong. When Maker Noob, can't remember his real name, but he's over in the Mediterranean. 3D Maker Noob. He did his Skittles inspired boron. That thing looked amazing, but I don't know, like I don't think I'm going to wind up doing, you know, like this much colors and color changes. To me, it just kind of is too much. And I know I'm not going to have liquid cooling in my case. Yeah, Joe, there you go, yes. Yeah, I've got to go through and figure out all the parts that we need. We'll probably go through and get all the skirts and get the frame and skirts and stuff done, and then we'll come back in and figure out what some of the inside components will be. But I have an older PC that's just sitting there in a case right now. I'm going to go ahead and get that put in here and bring it down here to the shop, and we'll use it in the shop as, you know, like a class for teaching classes and stuff like that. And we'll do a setup, and what better way to show off a 3D printing store than having a 3D printed PC case, you know. We're going to build one of these. I'm definitely going to be taking a look at the CAD files over the next couple of days and seeing what internal parts and stuff we need and how things go together. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm also, Liz, giving people a heads up that I am probably not going to be streaming for the next week. We do have a couple of tight deadline print jobs, and I'm having sinus surgery on Wednesday, so me and Mrs. Dragon are completely out of the shop on Wednesday, dealing with that. So Evil Diesel will be running the store that day for us, and if he needs to take off, we'll lock the doors, put a sign on the door saying, "We're sorry, life got in the way," you know. Oh, thanks, Liz. But yeah, we're trying to get a lot of work done in the next couple of days because, one, I'm going to have surgery, and I don't know how I'm going to be come Thursday and Friday after having surgery on Wednesday. That's going to be a little bit of playing it by ear. And then, like I said, we've got a couple of projects that we're trying to get done for our customers, and at least the one for the trade show, if we can get that job done, that's going to open some doors for us, I think, in one of the local arenas here, right? And yeah, I am being a little bit cryptic, but good to be. I'm going to use the kit, Cody. I'm going to use the kit, and it's honestly not like I am wanting for excuse me, brain fart. I'm not wanting for extrusions, right? When Open Builds closed, I acquired lots and lots of extrusion from them. So I've got extrusion here for a while, everything from 4040 to 2080 to 2020. And I even have some 2040. But my plan is I'm gonna build the Corvus using one of the LDO kits. I will have a second instance of this here at the store. I don't know if I'm going to build it for somebody, or I may build it for a customer or something down the road. Don't know what I'm going to do with it right yet. And the FT6 build, I'm going to basically cut my own extrusions. I do have a purpose saw for that. I know Waters knows that because I cut a bunch for them and for the automated kits. So I'm going to get all the proper lengths, cut that, and consider once again if I'm going to do blind joints or the internal angles or what have you, but I need the structure. So really on the Folger Tech kit, all right, you build the base out of 2040 short ends and 2020 long ends. I'm probably going to do the whole base in 2040, okay? And then there's an ACM or set of ACM panels that go on the bottom. And that allows you to do your rod mounts, your Z lead screws, and you mount a single Z stepper motor in the middle panel, and you do some crazy belt routing to do the belts. I may change that up. I may go to direct drive individuals. We'll see what I do. But then you put the 4 uprights, and the 4 uprights are held on with little ACM corner brackets. That's the only thing holding the uprights is some M5 screws going through ACM corner brackets. And I don't like that idea because the entire purpose of building this is to go fully enclosed day one. So I'm trying to look at the one that Lomax has here at the shop right now and see how I'm going to go ahead and enclose that printer in. Lasered some acrylic for sandhills, yep. So I need to look at, I have a feeling the base panels need to be the ACM panels. And potentially the top panels that the linear rods and stuff go in will probably need to be ACM panels. But everything else around the outside are going to be acrylic panels, or either acrylic or polycarbonate panels. But I want the frame structure to stand on its own and not have to require the panels to hold the frame together, which is what the FT6 requires today, right? So I'm going to have to figure out how to do that reliably. And it's probably just going to be the internal L brackets that, get put in with grub screws. There's nothing wrong with that. And then the panels will provide additional. And I'm not sure if I'm going to try and put any insulation on the inside just to help hold in heat. But the whole purpose is to make it an enclosed printer. And I'm kind of looking at that, and then other options for a larger enclosed printer, because one of the print jobs I'm doing right now would have been made easier if I had a larger printer. All right, sounds good, Waters. Take care. Tell Clover we said hi. And they need to come out here and see us. Hey, Tinkering Techie, how's it going? Welcome in. You have it on a site. What are you referring to, Cody, over on YouTube? As far as the FT6, the Folgertech FT6, there's, you know, various files that you can find out there for doing mods or stuff like that. And I've got a set of polycarbonate CF parts, so polycarbonate carbon fiber blended parts printed for it already. Okay, so the extrusions, the ones I purchased were from Open Builds, when Open Builds went out of business. God, it's about a year ago, because it was when we were coming back from Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Festival last year that I bought all that extrusion. The store, I will put that link out here. So the store link is digitaldragon3d.com. Go ahead and pin that over there. I'll pin it over here as well. There we go. Do that, do that. There we go. Yeah, so the store, like I said, is doing really well. We're having to make runs to e-packs just about once a week at this point to restock. So that's pretty nice to have to do. But yeah, we have some projects that are coming up as far as builds. I'm gonna try and do some pop-up streams as I'm doing some of the build. In some cases, it'll be here at the workbench. In other cases, it may be literally on the floor just because it's too big to really work up here. I also have, let's see, we've got a Voron Trident from Lomax that was brought in. Several parts need to be replaced on that. Apparently, it was coming in to have a screen added, so a touch screen, so we can get clipper screen on it to relocate the filament so that he didn't have to run with the filament inside the printer. Don't ask me, he bought this from somebody and the PTFE tube routing was all internal. So a couple of things like that. And I get here and I'm like, what all did you need me to do on this? Because the bed is not where the bed should be. Apparently, one of his buddies brought it over, and in the process, the bed went from being like this to being like this and hanging by the wires. So yeah, we're gonna do some things. We're gonna do some things to try and make that a little bit more reliable. Rebuilding your V01 as a 02. Nice. I did that myself. That's pretty, it's a fun thing. The V0s are really fun printers. The only thing that I dislike with the V0 is having to remember to get all of the nuts in. And then when LDO came out with their little nuts in the printed parts, you can put them in after the fact when you need to do mods or something. That was a godsend, but still working on a printer in that frame size with 1515, kind of a pain. Am I going to sell some of the 2020 extrusions? No, they're going to be turned into project builds, whether it's printers or other things. That was bought with my own money. So those are going to be project builds. Good sources for extrusion if you're in the United States. Zytec has extrusions, and they will cut to order. Mitsumi, always, but you're going to pay for Mitsumi, right? And I'm sure there's other places you can get it. But yeah, it's just going to be one of those things. You're going to have to get your Google flu out and do some searching. And quite honestly, you might be able to find some extrusion near you. There's metal stores in a lot of the major towns, and you might be able to find some extrusions near you. Now, the question is it the 2020 that we're used to, or is it a different size? That's the one thing you'll have to look at. But always, if you can get it closer, it will probably work out in your favor, even if you got to drive a little bit to go get it, because shipping that stuff is where it gets expensive for the most part, because it's weight and its size, right? So sometimes the size of the package limits the options on shipping, and you wind up getting into straight up ground shipping and it costing a little bit more. I will tell you that right before I came in here, I went to attach my new USB cable to the stealth changer. So in doing the stealth changer, I've been working slowly on it. I have one tool head cabled, like the cable umbilical going to it. I need to terminate the wire at the back panel at the hexa, and I'm trying to get the hexa all tied in. I tied in the 12 gauge power. I went into the Wago and then out of the Wago into the hexa, and that gives me the ability to add other 24 volt taps off of it for lights or whatever. And I realized that putting the Wago there, the USB cable that comes with the kit is a straight in USB-C. There's no way you're plugging that in. So I ordered a 90-degree cable, and it'll fit, but I can't plug it in. I'm going to have to take the board off, plug in the USB cable, and then mount the board again. Do you know of any that sell 2020 in the Raleigh area? Tinkering Techie, I have not looked, but I need to. I really need to find a supply here in Raleigh if possible. Hey, a bit nuts, you bought your rat rig a year ago, and every time I think I'm going to make progress, your health takes a turn for the worse. I hear you, and a bit nuts. Yeah, I've been pondering. I will respond to your message on Discord, but I think we can come to terms. I will ask if you can take some pictures of the project in its current state and just give me kind of a rundown of what's left to do. That would be great. Hey, Shrimp Father, how's it going? We're just chatting and chilling. We're just chatting and chilling. It's been a lot of long days and nights still here at Digital Dragon 3D, and there's going to be a few more. We've got some time-bound print projects that we're working on. One of which has to be done by Tuesday. So we're printing like mad, trying to get some parts ready for a customer for a trade show. So we're trying to get that stuff done up and get that ready to go. And some of those prints, like the one was about 12 hours of prints, the other's about 22 hours of prints, but it's 4 different build plates. And when it's done, we have to put it all together and make sure that it's going to be robust enough to travel to the trade show, be handled, and preferably live for more than one trade show. Right, so, yeah. So, but if we can pull that one off, that's going to open up a new area of business for us, most likely, with a customer base. So, but Tinkering Techie and Shrimp Father, I can tell you that these, whoops, that's not going to work. These are the colors that we're going to be using for our Corvus PC build. So this is Atomic Dark Cherry Red and Polymaker Dark Purple. And we're going to use this for that particular build, and it's got the gray frame. So I've got plenty of those colors, and they're probably going to be used on something else, or I will build 2 of them, and I'll have the ability to do a couple of PCs here that we can use for our classes and stuff like that. They are handsome colors. I've had this for a while. Like, I really hope this still actually prints well, because I've had this for a while, and if it doesn't, even after I dry it out, I will go and buy more of this, because this color is gorgeous. That color is gorgeous. I did not use Wagos because I think Wagos would have made it a little bit too big to get in. I went bare wire into the Wagos because the Wago 221s will tap out at 12 gauge stranded. If you need to go higher, there's well, let me rephrase that. The Wago 221 connectors come in 2 flavors. One that maxes out at 12 gauge, and the other one will max out at 10 gauge. The ones that we normally use in all of our builds is the one that maxes out at 12 gauge. So, yeah, I would probably have to take a picture, because I really don't want to pick the printer up and move it over here. But I can take a picture and post it up on the Discord of kind of how I ran the wires. But I basically just kind of brought them up and did the loop, and then came out and went into the fork connectors of the Hexa. So my preference is to use ferrules, but I don't think there's any way the ferrules were going to go on these ends and them still go in nicely. Maybe they would, I don't know. But in this case, Wagos are, they are rated, and you can use stranded, solid core, and ferruled connectors in Wagos. So it's perfectly well, it's perfectly fine. Yeah, not a problem. The other thing that I was looking at is, I know the ports on the Hexa are numbered. I don't think it matters. I need to just get out and start and reading up on the hexa. But I know you have the 24-volt lugs that come in at the bottom, your USB-C that comes into the bottom, and then you've got the 6 ports across the top, and 7 is one that faces down. It's almost like you can daisy chain or plug in another hub or something. But on the ones going across the top, I don't know if it really like matters, like tool 0 needs to go into 1 or tool 0 goes into 7. I think they're all just parallel type of thing. Yeah, it's a fancy USB hub. That's what I thought. So that way I'm going to go into like 7, 6, probably 4 and 3 just to make straighter runs type of thing. I've only got 4 heads, so I'm good there. But yeah, I'm just making slow progress on that. It's kind of one of those things that I look at and I'll occasionally go over and tinker with it a little bit. Yeah, that's why I figure in this case it's just more or less a, just seen as a wire, right? It's just a wire connection. So it's talking to the tool head board, so it shouldn't have a matter, right? Yeah, so that's kind of some of the stuff that's been going on. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to stay on here too long tonight just because I'm tired. Been traveling. So yesterday I had to go from from Sanford to Chapel Hill, which is almost an hour each way, to go and have my pre-surgical consult. And then, they took blood and EKG and all that good stuff. And then this morning, I got up, came in to the store, did a little bit of work for about an hour, then had to take off and go to Pittsburgh, which is a little over a half-hour drive away, to do a pulmonary function test. And let me just tell you, if you've had any type of breathing problems, you will look at your pulmonologist as a sadist. It's bad. Like, pulmonologist, physical therapist, right? Like, then maybe dental up here. I don't, I hate going in and doing those tests, and I've done them way too often, but it just sucks. And then I got back, and it's just a lot of work stuff, like I said, going on that is always interesting. Yeah, I hate that test as well, and doing the frickin' spirometry things always just suck. The address to the Discord channel. Give me 1 second. The easiest way is to pop it over there and then there's the Discord channel. Yeah, well, the nice thing is I was in the phone booth, but it wasn't like fully closed. So I was chatting with the nurse the whole time as she was doing the test. I mean, not obviously the whole time, but yeah. Yeah, so one other thing I need to do, a bit nuts, and some of the everyone else, is get a lot of the Stream Elements commands and timers that I have set up on Twitch over onto the YouTube side of things so that it goes both directions in chats. Hey, Spidey, how's it going, my friend? Ooh, Spidey, we got new colors. We've got three new, not new. We got 3 TPUs from Bamboo Lab in. We got the Blaze, the Frozen, and crystal or something like that. The blaze and I think it's the frozen are the transitions that go from, like, in the case of blaze, from a light red to a dark red. So if you're doing a shoe or a long print or something, it's going to see that transition across the print. And then, let's see, we got some of that. We've got some red and reflex blue Pet G by Bamboo. And we picked up luminous rainbow, luminous green, luminous purple, and I think luminous blue EPAX PLA today. So we've got some of that. I think that there's any other new colors that we got in. I think there's got to be some more new colors that we got in. I know Mrs. Dragon's been working on new labels, but we're getting a lot of new colors in. We're slowly building up our color selection here. Yeah. And I will be telling you that I am expecting my order from Fadis to come in soon. So if anybody out there has a Creality K2 series and would be interested in a DXC2 extruder, they're inbound. I'm going to have some. We also, I'm talking with FlashForge. I'm getting ready to put in another order for some printers from FlashForge because I need some more 85Xs. And at the same time, I'm going to try and put in an order for a couple of the Creator 5 variants. If you're not familiar, the Creator 5 is their tool changer. So let's see, I think they've got all the stuff up there. Here we go. Come on. Here we go. Let's take a look at the Creator 5 over here. So this is a 4-head tool changer. It's going to use the same type of spool holder system as the 85X. Just instead of having the IFS system on here, it's going to have the 4 umbilicals that go up to the tool heads. Flash Swap, a next-gen multi-head 3D printer powered by interchangeable nozzles and an intelligent workflow. Not sure what all that is, but pretty interesting to see that connecting mechanism there for the tool heads. So it looks like the extruder itself is going to stay on the X carriage, and they'll pick up the tool head, or the carriage, I should say, and it'll pick up the tool head. I guess that would be a Y. Looks like 3 sets of pins to enable the centering. So that's pretty interesting. Looks like the price is going to be $799 with the initial at $650. Zero purge waste during material switching. You're still going to have a prime tower. You're still going to have a prime tower. You just won't have the purge. Here's zero waste, maximum output, so that'll be good. Mosaic color block base, very nice. We'll see. I am going to get one for the store, so I will have a display unit here at the store. Just getting off work, driving home, audio is being dumb and in and out. That sucks. It is going to be 256 cubed build volume, so they are making it a little bit bigger than the Adventure series. 4 tool heads. Yeah, speeds. Yeah, load cell, auto leveling, multi-material structures in a single pass. Device fleet management on PC and mobile. They've had this for a while, where you can set up like pools for printers and then send jobs to multiple printers and manage them. Quick toolhead swaps. I'll look forward to seeing that in real life. Full automatic multi-toolhead offset calibration. Okay, it looks like that is a, it's built into the bed, so you'll remove the build plate, you'll do your calibration, and it's going to tap the nozzle and then tap the sides to figure out where the nozzle is in space. It'll do that on all of them, and then you'll put the build plate back on. Auto compensation, okay, dynamic flow and vibration compensation. So input shaping and a dynamic pressure advance. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing this when it comes out. They had it at TCT Asia, and I really wanted to get out there and see it, but I just no way I could travel with dealing with all the sinus stuff. And once again, that's why I'm not making it to Rocky Mountain Rep Rap, is because I'm having surgery and I'm not going to be able to fly that soon after sinus surgery especially. So let's see, max bed temp 120, PEI textured, auto leveling, standard layer thickness expected for a 0.4 nozzle, maximum flow rate 32 millimeters cubed per second. That would be interesting. Max extruder temp is 320. Removable nozzles. I'll be interested to see if it's just a nozzle like the old style V6, or if it's a full nozzle heat break similar like 85 has today. 4-inch color touchscreen. Yeah, auto pressure advanced calibration, filament runout. Yeah. I know the marketing hype's there. I'm not sure. We'll see. I just don't know if you want to do any long prints at that temp. Max travel speed, max print speed, has a full HD camera, 1920 by 1080, 30 frames. Okay. USB, Wi-Fi, and LAN, love it. Wi-Fi is both 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, love that as well. Compatible with Orca Flash Forge or Orca Slicer Straights, so that's good. Here you go. PLA PETG TPU, PLA CF, PETG CF, PET. PET. Yeah, no. Silk, PVA, BBOH, S multi, S pack. Okay. PACF, PET CF, PAHT CF, and PPA CF are glass filled. Great that the extruder can handle that and the nozzle can, but open frame design? Don't think so. Don't think so. And just putting an enclosure on there with acrylic panels, don't think you're going to get there and have good print quality with some of those filaments with an open frame design and a printed part with acrylic enclosure. I just don't, I don't think so. Possible, yes. Recommended, no. I wish they would add an Ethernet port. I connect everything with a cable if at all possible. A bit nuts, that's what this is. When it says LAN, so the FlashForge printers have a Ethernet jack. They have a functioning Ethernet jack. You can. This is why I like FlashForge, and this is why I like Keyty. They give you the Ethernet jack. Bamboo strips the Ethernet port, and they only put the Ethernet port on their X1, or excuse me, yeah, the X1E and the H2D Pro. And they charge you like $1,000 more to put an Ethernet port on the board. I am a Bamboo reseller, but Bamboo needs to stop that. Hey, Projects in Dad's Garage, how's it going? If FlashForge can put an Ethernet port on a printer that they're selling for under $300, Bamboo can put one on a $2,000 printer without charging you another $1,000 for it. You know, the Keytys, every single one, to include the Q2C, has an Ethernet port on it. Functioning Ethernet. Hey, Projects in Dad's Garage, how's it going? You want to see some cool colors? This is Candy Rainbow TPU. It doesn't squish too much. We did like 4 walls on it, but this is TPU, Candy Rainbow, and they make this in a glass Candy Rainbow, which is semi-translucent. So we're doing some of these prints for a local business that is getting ready to open up. And we're going to be doing a Corvus or the LDO Voron PC Case kit. And our colors are Atomic Dark Cherry Red and Polymaker Dark Purple. And the frame is the gray frame color. So I've got to start getting all those parts sliced up and get ready to start printing. I'm probably going to print all that stuff on the, probably going to do it on the Keyty. Because my Kyber Dragon is going to be tied up for about 2 to 2.5 days printing TPU. I'm doing pretty good. A little tired. Got a lot going on. I was also telling everybody that I'm not going to stream for at least a week because I'm going in and having sinus surgery on Wednesday. And we've got some time-critical jobs for customers that we need to get printed and assembled by Tuesday. So, yeah, we've got a little bit going on here, trying to get some stuff done. And then between doing multi-hour TPU prints, because we've got 12+ hour prints for larger versions of these, and we need a couple of sets. So we've got those going. We had 3 printer repairs that we did over the last day and got picked up today. We've got 2 printers in here from Lomax, aka Sandhills 3D. We got his FT6 that he's trying to get up and running and doing a custom tool head on. And then he had his Trident brought in that was going to be for just adding a clipper screen, rerouting the PTFE tube, and putting a filament sensor in it. And well, it came to me with the print bed hanging by the wires and some broken, the mounts were broken. So yeah, got to do some repair work on that. Thank you, Liz. Thank you. It's, you know, this is my third time having what I colloquially call the rotor-rooter done on my sinuses. It's every few years, the polyps just get worse and worse, and they have to go in and extract some things. Exactly, RC Maniac. Exactly. So yeah, we're working on a bunch of stuff. Hey, Zombie, how's it going? I'm going to start printing all the parts for the PC case, and that way, hopefully I can get some of that done on some of the other printers while I'm laid up over the next week. Or, well, yeah, as we're getting stuff done, and then I'm laid up at the end of next week. We'll try and get some of these things sliced and ready to go on printers and get them printed. But yeah, we've had a lot going on, and it's good. Like I said, we've got a lot of design work going on. I've got a project that I'm going to post the photos on that we did for a customer. We're almost 100% done with the design. I think there was 1 or 2 more tweaks that we needed to make based on the prototype that they did. And I think they're getting like 50 to 75 of them printed. So, you know, pretty good job to get done and get that work. But that one, I think we have a couple of weeks to get done. So that one is definitely doable. But yeah, we've just been sitting here chatting. I know I've been having a little bit of a haphazard schedule for the streams lately, and I do apologize for that. I think after we have this surgery, the streaming cycle will get back to normal. But it's just, I've been feeling like dog doo-doo, and I think a lot of it just has to do with getting everything kicked off for the store, having so many class days going on, because I was taking a multi-week class at night, which was a 3 hours, 1 night a week for like 9 weeks and stuff like that. So yeah, you missed the Saturday morning streams. Me too. Me too. The problem with doing a Saturday morning stream right now is because the store opens at 10, and I have had people here at 10 waiting for us to open up. You know, I can't really stream with customers in the store. So that means I would have to at least start streaming at like 8 a.m. on Saturday. And I love you guys, but if I'm streaming at 8 a.m. on Saturday, that means it's going to be, what, 7 on the West Coast? No, 8 a.m., 5 a.m. on the West Coast. So I'm going to miss everybody over there, right? So yeah, I'm switching to Saturday nights. I know I'm going to run into competition with some other people that stream on Saturdays, but it's just the way it's going to be for a little while. Saturdays are definitely turning into our biggest day. Definitely turning into our biggest day. So, but yeah, that's kind of what I had tonight. I do need to end the stream a little bit here because I do have some work I need to do on getting into the CAD and trying to pull some parts out and join some parts to make printing and assembly a little bit easier on this project that has to be done by Tuesday. So your heart doesn't start until afternoon. Yeah, yeah. One of the coolest ideas I've seen from the C-print, unfortunately, it has 4 independent tool heads on a bed slinger. If it was any other company but Co-print, I'd be interested. Yeah, that's the thing, a bit nuts. The Co-print stuff, like I said, I've got some at the house. I got the CR10 V3 assembled. Wasn't that hard. It assembles pretty quick. I put in the filament that Reality sent with it, and immediately it was over extruding horribly. You know, and I was like, okay, let me go change the E-steps. So I went through, ran a test, started doing some of the calculations, and then quickly realized, oh crap, this thing's running Marlin. I don't want to deal with Marlin. So I just kind of put it over there on the side. It was like, okay, I'll work on that later. Because the entire intent with getting that printer was to literally, okay, it pushed plastic, great. Put Co-print on it and see what Co-print does. You know, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, oh well. And thank you, Cody, for reminding everybody to like and subscribe over there on the YouTube side of things. Yes, definitely. Please like and subscribe. I do plan on putting out more content, both live streams and also little shorts and stuff here and there. Like I said, it's just been a little crazy, and some of that has to deal with some of the stuff going on with my day job right now. And with us picking up some more work at night, or more work, print projects and stuff like that for customers, it just means some later nights, which, you know, long days, late nights, all that good stuff. You had a Co-print guy literally remote control in, and he failed miserably. A Co-print guy remoted into your printer, and it still couldn't get it straight. Oof. That's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, Zombie, hope you're doing well. I know you stream late nights. Feels like you stream just about every night. Or maybe it's just all the nights that I normally stream that you're streaming. But I know it's been a while since I've streamed late and raided over into you. What have you been working on lately, and what are you guys going to be working on tonight? Yeah. Other than that, everything's been going great. Both Pezliz and Zombie seem to be streaming all the time. Oh yeah, Liz. Every time I look up, Liz is online. I'm like, Liz. Then she gets off her stream and she, you know, gets on everyone else's stream and hangs out and stuff like that. So yeah, she's always online. But then you get to see her in real life, and it's just so much better in person than it is online. Yep. Oh, Liz. I had a P1S come in, and the PTFE tubes were mangled. And I mean mangled. They brought it in, they were like, we can't get it to feed. And I'm like, yeah, no kidding. I can't even push the filament through the PTFE tube myself, right? So I wound up cutting new PTFE tube from the AMS you know, I took the AMS apart to make sure that all 4 lanes were good and none of them were blown out. That part was good. But the PTFE tube from the AMS into the buffer and then from the outside of the printer into the tool head were just kind of bent, kinked, the whole 9 yards. And what I do, I replaced the tube and immediately went out to K2 Kevin's Maker World page and printed out the PTFE tube savers. And I think that's what they're called. So I've got the one going into the buffer that, one, makes it a straighter pass so you have less issues at the buffer, but also you can push in it, because that's what they were trying to do, is pull the PTFE tube out to see if there's an issue there, and they couldn't get it out. Well, no kidding. So that's one way that it got bent and kinked. So I showed that to her of like, you've got this printed part now, you push that in, the PTFE tube comes straight out, and she's like, oh my God, that's awesome. So yeah. I'm running those on all of my P1S and the 2X1Cs, and I'm putting them on customers' printers as well if they come in without them, because it just makes sense. I had a K1 SE come in, and there was a nick in the PTFE tube. It was stopping the filament right there and not allowing it to feed through. Yep. Yep. All right, have a good one, Tinkering Techie. Take it easy. Oh, check is in the mail. I'll be looking for it, Kevin. No, that is one of the simplest prints and one of the best prints to have. It just makes it easy, and why they designed that connection in the hub, or yeah, in the buffer, where you can't unplug the cable easy or undo the PTFE tube easy, is, I don't know. Design decisions were made. Yep, he killed my 2 trees SK1, crashed the bed into the tool head and broke it. I shelved the thing after that. I've had like an 8 filament set. Oh man. Have you tried that new Creality PTFE tube? Oh, the one with the star-shaped innards? I have not. I'm like, I don't know if that would help or not. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what science would be behind it that would make it better than standard PTFE tube. So we'll have to see. But yeah, gang, like I said, I've been going for a little over an hour here, and unfortunately I am going to have to cut it short because I need to go swap a print that I just heard finish. And like I said, I need to jump back in and do some stuff in Fusion for that customer to try and pull parts out and see if I can't stitch them together and make a few less prints. But yeah. Not Creality specific. Mello and other retailers have it. Yeah, yeah. But thank you everybody for coming in and hanging out with me this evening. Like I said, once we get through this surgery in another week or so, and I get the packing and everything out, streaming should become a little bit more consistent. And I'm going to work on getting these colors or these filaments dried out and get some prints ready to go on those. So I appreciate everybody being here. Hey, Pete, how's it going? Hope your healing is going well as well, Pete. But thank you all for being here on both YouTube and Twitch. I appreciate it. And here's to a rapid recovery. It should be. This is not my first rodeo on this particular surgery, so we should be good. But let me see who's live now that we can jump over to and check out. It logged me in this time. That's good. Of course, we got Big Jano, and it's Thursday night, so it's going to be marbles. We can always go over and harass that free heathen guy. But I think Yeah, because Zombie's not on yet. He's normally not starting for a little bit longer. Let's jump over to Jano. Yeah, I know. I wanted to go to TCT Asia. Couldn't go to that. I know Rapid's coming up, and then right after Rapid or concurrent with Rapid is Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Festival, and I can't travel. You know, even if I drove up to Rapid, it's still not advisable after surgery, especially sinus surgery, because if there's any issues, you've hit a wall. Oh no, Pete. Hopefully it gets better, my friend. Hopefully it gets better. But I'm going to go ahead and set up a raid over to Big Jano. And if you can come with me over on the Twitch side. And if you're over on the YouTube side, hey, create a Twitch account and go follow Big Jano. He is an engineer by day and 3D printer by night, and gamer by night as well. He does a ton of projects with LED lighting. So he's kind of a go-to with that. So, ooh, that's not good, Pete. Hopefully they can get the cortisone injections done and get that nerve swelling under control. Hope so. But thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate it. And I will see you guys in a little over a week when we get back to streaming. Thank you for being here, and we'll stay in touch out there on, X comments and Twitter and Instagram and everything else, and see you guys out on Discord. Have a great night, and we'll see y'all later. Bye now.